I went to a pretty cool expo recently. It was for people who use Adobe products. I use Photoshop, Audition, and Premiere Pro, but I only used them for the most basic things. They had a lot of very advanced demonstrations. They also had a raffle. I won a free night in a luxury hotel. It also included room service for an entree and 2 sides, and a beverage. Not just any beverage, a beverage of your own choice. Once there was an investor. He was desperate to find yield. He had big plans. He found a medium-sized city within the United States that had seen better days. A lot of closed factories, shuttered shops. It was on the verge of becoming yet another American ghost town. His first plan was to revitalize the main hotel. The hotel had been shut down for a few years. He wanted to reopen it. He wanted to reopen it and see if he could attract people to come to seminars and meetings and conferences. He also wanted to attract other businesses to the city. There were a lot of manufacturing capabilities that were being underutilized. For some reason, he decided to move into the hotel, camp out. There wasn't any electricity, but he got the idea that if he spent some time camping out in the hotel, being completely separate from technology, he might become inspired. So he spent a week in the basement, sitting and meditating, surrounded by candles. That's when she came and started talking to him and teaching him things about past life regressions, about future life regressions. It turns out that most people only have a very superficial understanding of past life regressions. This can be a very powerful tool, but only if you use this as a tool. Most people treat this as a kind of experience or even some kind of entertainment, like going to the movies or seeing a magician or perhaps even a ventriloquist. But if you approach this correctly, if you appreciate this correctly, this can be very life-altering. It turns out that all of our past lives, all of our future lives are really just separate manifestations, partial manifestations of our whole selves, our spiritual selves. Our mind-body system in its current configuration is significantly limited in intelligence, limited in memory, limited in muscle memory, limited in physical and mental skills. But our spiritual selves are infinite. So when we transformed ourselves from our spiritual selves to our physical selves, we had to become fractionated. All of our various past lives, all of our various future lives are actually fractionated holograms of our entire spiritual selves. And once you learn how, you can find as many as your other selves as possible. The more of your past and future selves that you can find, the more of your DNA will be activated. The more of your DNA that becomes activated, the more of your spiritual skills you'll have access to in this physical plane. Extraordinary mental skills, astral projection skills, time manipulation skills. You can become physically indestructible. You can breathe underwater. You can become impervious to extreme heat or extreme cold. You can unlock your full epigenetic potential, essentially being able to change your body at will. He decided to forget his plans to rejuvenate the ghost town, and he continued to live in the hotel. He continued to unlock his DNA. I ended up getting a double bacon cheeseburger and 2 orders of fries. For my beverage, I got a Diet Dr. Pepper, and I watched some HBO on the TV. I'd say that 90% of the demos of the Adobe workshop were way over my head. I only use their products for very simple stuff, but there is so much cool stuff that you can do. It's like the more you learn, the more stuff they invent for you to learn. Some of the experimental stuff they're working on are absolutely magnificent. They had this graphic display that was displaying this guy's thoughts. It was hooked up to his head like a EKG machine, and everybody could see what he was thinking in real time, projected up on the wall. Imagine if you could project your thoughts into other people, or record people's thoughts for later study, or perhaps uncover the DNA of ancient skeletons and reconfigure their thinking processes to see the kind of things that they thought about that allowed them to come up with the ideas they did.